What's up, social media? It's Dr. Steve, master of the subconscious mind and doctor who fixes 100% of the orthopedic issues not related to cancer, fracture, infection. And today I want to do a morning update on the energy that's going on Earth and everything like that with the planetary alignment. And around April 27th, we had a blood moon, or actually it was a pink moon, and it's a very powerful beginning of manifestation. Every full moon cycle, we have these manifestation opportunities that come about throughout the year, and that was a big part of the cycle that was bringing in Mercury Retrograde, and lots of miscommunication in those times, lots of growth opportunities in those times for everyone. And so if we've done our work, what happens is the universe blesses us with more opportunity, more abundance, and a prosperous life, right? If we're living our spiritual path, if we're living on our mission. And then it brought us into Mercury retrograde, and then we had that really powerful supermoon with the solar eclipse. And this Mercury retrograde goes on until I think it's September 22nd. So we're still in that energy right now, and it's probably not the best time to make decisions, to do contracts, to try to grow your business, to start relationships. You know, there's lots of stuff going on there. It's a great time to slow down and reflect, because the last thing you want to do is make mistakes and blow opportunities that are there. We want to strategically plan everything out, because our inner world creates our outer world, and we always want to operate trusting the divine and opening our hearts. Because if you put your heart in a box and you close it off, and we live in these damaged wounds from a child and past relationships and past businesses, and we hold on to those resentments and those frustrations, what happens is the universe will give you more things to be resentful for, more things to be sad about, until you finally decide to open your heart. And I always quote Rumi, the famous mystic, and she always says, you will continue breaking your heart over and over and over until you finally open it. And once you finally open it, now all of a sudden the crown chakra opens and the universe blesses you, because you trust, because there is no fear. You're guided by your intuition, your third eye, and that allows you to speak your truth. And that's what brings that in, because you're speaking in a resonance that everyone hears, and they know it's truth, and you're blessed with abundance. You don't have to force things in life anymore, because your crown chakra is open. It just delivers the opportunities for you. And that's the energy we want to be in. So instead of looking at the pains, fears, heartbreaks, and challenges in life as these horrible experiences and being negative about what has happened to us, what we need to do is reflect on that and figure out why those things happened. And in my practice, that's what I do for people. It's energy. We can even do it over the phone. I like it in person, but we can even do it on the phone. When we change the mindset, that inner world of what we think about ourselves and how we're going to create, that all brings the abundance of the experience we want to have in this world. And it doesn't happen unless you open your heart, because that's just the beginning. These lower chakras are all about survival, and that's where most people want to run their life in survival, and they burn out. And it manifests itself as a disease in the mind and a disease in the body. And they wonder why they have these physical symptoms, and they have to escape by doing drugs. They can't sleep unless they smoke pot. They drink alcohol. Alcohol itself, it's called spirits for a reason, because it disconnects the mind and body. So when people have to drink all the time, to go out and have fun, they can't have fun without it. That's because they have to disconnect from the internal suffering that they have. There was actually an interesting study. I forgot which university did it, and it was on shock therapy. And they asked people, asked the subjects, they said, what would you rather do with your life if we gave you these two opportunities? And one of them was to sit in a room in the silence and meditate, or to be electrocuted and shocked. And most of those people actually chose to be electrocuted instead of being with their own thoughts, because it's very scary for people to sit in silence. And to me, I don't understand it, because it's peaceful. I went to the beach the other day for 2 hours and meditated, and I'm at peace. I don't have to worry about anything, right? I know I'm living my mission. I know what I'm doing. I know that I'm healing people. I'm improving people's lives, right? I've tried to do other things. Don't get me wrong. I tried to chase money. And when I chased superficial things and materialism, the universe slammed me hard, right? It didn't work out. To be honest, I lost $1 million in about 3 years. 2 years, because I tried to force everything with real estate, flipping real estate and homes, and owning gyms and all this other stuff, because I was operating out of ego and I was operating on the mind. And you are not who you think you are, right? We are human beings living we're spiritual beings living a human experience. And when you start to understand that, and that we all have a mission, when you start to get that purpose and you open your heart and the divine gives that to you, what your purpose is, life just becomes easy, right? So just take the opportunity that's going on right now with this Mercury retrograde and slow it down and reflect on what's actually happening. And if you're having struggles, reach out my office. We'll figure out where the blockages are, what's happened in your past, and we'll get that heart chakra open back up so you can start to get back on that path. Because otherwise, you're just going to repeat the same cycle next life. That's all that happens. If you get it right, and you just trust the divine in that state of trust with your open heart, life just works out. You don't need to chase the superficial things. In the end of the day, they don't freaking matter. You can't take them with you. So it's nice to have these. Don't get me wrong. Everybody wants to own boats and cars and that. But the problem is that's not what makes you who you are. Those are all needs and wants. They're filling an empty void inside, right? Because you have to have all these things to make you feel good about yourself, to make you feel like you're a good person, you've done the right thing, right? They aren't rewards that are given to you because you've done good deeds. They're only provided for you when you trust the divine, or I should say they're only kept when you trust the divine and you're living on your purpose. Because everyone can force life through their solar plexus for the needs and wants, the sex and the root chakra, and the wants and the houses and the boats and the cars. They can have all those things, but it'll never last. Because the universe is going to push you back on your path, and it slams you down. And karma, the karma of losing all those things isn't terrible. It's just putting on your path. It's God or the divine or the universe is putting you back on that spiritual path and just saying, hey, you have some emptiness inside to fulfill, and you have a different mission. And it's just loving you and guiding you back on your path, because people are more important. Living your mission is more important than these things. You can have it all, but it starts here. Because your heart, is a much bigger attractor pattern for abundance than even your mind. Because the mind is ego. That's it. The mind is complete ego. You're not who you think you are. The mind, all the mind is it's saying, oh, I got to have these things, and I got to do this in life and everything else. It makes you think that's who you are, but you're not your mind. You're the soul. Right? And when you connect with the soul, that is where you thrive. So make that inner world, create your outer world, and your life is in abundance. Reach out to me on social media. You can shoot me a DM, and we can find out what those blockages are. We can find the past childhood traumas, relationship blockages that you have, limiting beliefs that you have, any kind of loss that you're suffering from. We can find those things, right? We can find what the symptoms of the body are, why you have those symptoms, and why your body's expressing those and interpret those. And there's lots of reviews. You can check me out on Google and everything like that. But I work with people all over the country through the telephone. So no distance is not a problem. All right. You can check me out on YouTube, Dr. Steven Spencer, and you can follow me on Facebook, Instagram. I'm Yoked Modern Buddha. So follow me. Reach out to me if you got questions. Shoot me a DM.